What up, everybody? We got to talk about what's going on in these charts. We got some movement to the upside. We got some movement to the downside, hitting the targets that I shared with you guys in the BitLab Academy. And we got some more signals that we got to cover about what's going on in this market because it is setting up. We got the signal that that big move is just around the corner. It's all about what we're doing right now to make sure that we can capture it and we do not get ourselves chopped out. It's all about what we do right now that's going to determine what the possibility of our future is. So if you can get behind that, everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, throw a 1 in chat if you're ready to get into this market, if you're ready to get into these charts. I'm excited to have each and every one of you here. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's talk about it. Let's ask ourselves what we are grateful for today. Let's start it with gratitude. We're about to get into it. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. The market is doing its things, hitting those targets that we talked about. We can jump right on into it today, and we can see I've laid this out. It was in the BitLab Discord yesterday. I shared this initially right here, 62.7. Then the next target, this was basically, if you're going to short this, basically a target to the downside. If you're looking for entries, which is what I'm doing right now, 62.7, also the 61.8. And when we forward along here, we can see that this first one hit beautifully. And now we are sitting here now where it's actually come down and tap, tap, tap-a-root. Why is this zoomed in? Oops. It's zoomed in right there. Tap, tap, tap to root on that. And then what do we see? Price action right now, getting a lot of selling pressure. In fact, I welcome this right here. We're going to talk about why here in just a moment. But you know what? This market is doing everything that we need it to take advantage of those people that are acting emotionally. I don't want to take advantage of anybody. I look at this market and I say, what can I do to make sure that I can profit on this? This is what you need to realize about everybody in this market. Every single person in this market is here to make money, whether it's BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck, not the U.S. government because they were selling some Bitcoin like idiots, but all of us, whether you're trading and your mom and dad are trading, everybody is trading with a slightly different strategy, with slightly different goals here. So shout out there. Now, I do want to say, welcome to the stream. How y'all doing? My name's Kelly Kellum. If this is your first time here, I can guarantee it's not going to be your last time. Welcome to the stream. We got to talk about what's going on in this market because it is shaking people out. So let's talk about what's going on. Diving into the CoinMarketcap here, we can look at this. Let's actually refresh. Boom. I'm going to refresh this. Looking, Bitcoin's down about a little under 3%. Ethereum down a little more. BNB holding relatively flat, only down 1%. Solana down 1.5%. Cardano, we're going to be talking about Cardano today, so let's dive into that. 2.5% down. Avalanche having a bit more of a pullback, but look at the difference here. Avalanche had a 16% rise with a little, just under a 4% drop. So it makes sense that there's a little bit larger drop here than, for instance, that there is on Cardano. Understanding these things allows you to not be so triggered emotionally, because when you're triggered emotionally, you make silly mistakes. And it's not just markets. We all need to realize that these markets, when we're trading, when we're actively participating and moving money between different positions and trying to know when to buy or when to sell, it's an amazing analog for how you interact with your life. Are you an emotional reactor? Or do you feel emotions, which we all do, and then allow yourself to respond to those emotions? If you can respond to those emotions in the charts, you're going to be more profitable. If you can respond to those emotional triggers in your life, you're going to be much more happy. So this is what we're talking about here today. We're talking about these charts. We're talking about life because that's what this is all about, right? I'm not in this to make money. I'm going to, and I have. But it's about how can I impact my future? How can I impact my future in such a way that I can essentially bring that goodness to my friends, my family, and those around me? So that's what this is about. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We got a lot to cover today. Looking at what's going on in this market right now, we just saw NASDAQ is seeking SEC approval for a Bitcoin index options. They're just broadening the use case, broadening the access points, broadening the different financial product mechanisms that are out there. And even just the headline alone, this is just substantiating this asset class further. So this is incredibly bullish on a smaller tangential scale, but All these things add up in the sort of the zeitgeist of the people out there that are paying attention or just now becoming aware of Bitcoin. We all think that everybody knows about this. It's the halving cycle, global liquidity, inflation, fixed supply. 99% of people, you pull them aside on the street and ask them about Bitcoin, they still think it's magic internet money, and they wonder how you can invest in something that's printed out of thin air, not realizing that every dollar that they have in their wallet is printed out of thin air. So we need to understand that. We're still so early in this market, and these types of headlines just substantiate the growth that is still underway in this space. Now, continuing on, we also see while others have been selling, BlackRock Bitcoin ETF saw $224 million inflow yesterday. I don't know why it says $224, but I know it's $224 million in inflows. Now, the big part of that was them buying, because remember, they're an institution as well. The majority of the inflows we're seeing in BlackRock actually come from the BlackRock clients buying their exposure to ETF. Everybody needs to realize when they say BlackRock's buying, most of the time it's their clientele that's buying. However, yesterday, we did see that there was about a $220 million purchase from BlackRock buying this Bitcoin spot ETF as exposure for one of their funds. So things are getting spicy. Things are looking good. And we can see that right here. BlackRock added Bitcoin as a hedge in its strategic global bond fund. Do you realize that? Bonds are thought to be typically those longer term, safer plays. Now they're adding Bitcoin to the longer term, safer play fund. Does that make sense? This is what we're trying to make sure everybody realizes when we look at the chart and we say, oh my God, where's it at? Oh my God, we're having a pullback. Oh my God, it's so... Stop getting emotional and needing the market to do something. It's just like if you're dating somebody. If you need somebody to do something, it's not sexy. Create a situation to where people can thrive and flourish. And if they're not right for you and you're not turned on by what they're doing, whether it's emotional, relational, all the different things, then if you need it, it's not going to make it happen. You just become a needy succubus. The same thing in these markets. If you need this to go up, you're going to essentially look at the market in a certain way that is going to corrupt your ability to see the forest for the trees. And so I talked about this yesterday, the last 2 days. I think it was, here in the Discord, basically talking about, that this was pushing up. However, we had an M-shaped pattern there that basically double top, a potential breakdown indication. Also, we saw this indication right here where the price action, we have a low, now we have a lower low. This was that indication of the price action likely going to move to the downside. Now we have this target up there because it's been up there since March 13th when the upper trend line got created. These were the targets we're talking about, targets to the downside. Because we got a little bit of a test here in the zone, but we broke out of the zone, a retest of this zone. Why? Because this is an imbalance, meaning the price action just shot, boom, right up with no sort of testing along the way. So the price action tends to like to come down and fill that sort of imbalance by exploring the price throughout this region. And these two targets, why these two targets? We have this bounce here, we have this rejection here, gives us this box here. Now you see this bounces at the bottom, this bounces at the top, or rejects at the top. That's what outlined what this box was. The next box, the next target down was this chop zone, this rejection, this rejection, this rejection, this rejection, and this rejection, giving us the box zone. So when we understand that the price action was giving us a map, then we can make sure that we don't get so triggered by it. Bad Fox says, you're funny. You know what? You're funny. All of you are funny. We're fun together. That's what this is about. This is a community of meaningful tools, resources, content, and an empowering community. That's what this is for, right? It's what we're here for. That's what all of you are here for. At least I hope you are. I do see one thumbs down. I think it's somebody that's jacks with me every day, and I appreciate the engagement. Now I know we're about to have a couple hundred people pop in here, so you know what? We're gonna get through this stuff, and if they miss it, that's okay. But BlackRock buying into essentially their safety fund. Amazing, amazing, amazing. When you consider where things might be going in the near future. And we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. We're frustrated. Get out of here. And then we look at this. Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so over. Oh my God. Oh wow. We're outperforming the last two cycles. from the bottom rather than measurement from the halving, which was that chart I typically show you. We're measuring this from the bottom of the last 2 cycles, and then now this third one where we're at here, and we're actually outperforming a little bit. So if this is the metric, and we see all this bullishness, and we see all the substantiation of just power in this market and the appetite we've seen in the first quarter of this since the Bitcoin spot ETFs launched January 11th, and how many institutions piled in. It was almost 1,000. It was like 960 or something. The quarter 2, we had 700 more institutions pile in, realizing that although you may have been here 6 months, it might have felt like 6 years. Although you may have been here 6 years, maybe you've been here 8 years like me. I might even been longer than that. The point is, we are still so early in this market. We've just now, January 11th, the day the Bitcoin spot ETFs launched, we finally entered the early adopter stage for institutions and corporations. Understanding that will give you a lot more power and comfort in what the market movement's doing. So the fact that we are outperforming what we saw the last 2 cycles, when we come back to the Bitcoin price and we say it's dipping, well, in context, we're doing better than we've ever done. So let's just push the brakes there. All right. Things are looking good. This is from the Rational Root. For those of you that have been watching a while, I've had him on the channel. I've also sat with him at the Bitcoin conference last year, and we talk a lot. Beautiful, wonderful sort of mind in the space. I love all the content that he shares. So I had to share it with you guys. Now, let me just show this. What is this coming up into? Coming up into that first sort of push into that parabola. And that's only if you want to not look at the data on these charts. Let's actually go to a cleaner chart. Look at the data on these. That's the dominance. Where are we at? Look at, God dang it. BLX. Here we go. This is a pretty strong bullish trend from the bottom here, 15.5 all the way to the top, 73,700. It's a 368% move in a year and a half. That's not, and we're complaining right now that we are consolidating within this bound. And look at this. Wouldn't you know it? We're actually on the upper half of the bound now. So this essentially this parallel channel that this has been consolidating within. And we are a little worried right here. Bears took it all the way down, but the bulls ate it up. And they ate it up heavy. We can tell because there's an order block here on the chart showing that a huge amount of orders came in at these price levels, defending this area. And now the price action, look, retested higher low. The price action came back above. Now it's above the halfway point, similar to when we're looking at the RSI. And you see the RSI, for instance, on the daily or the weekly, when it's maintaining above that 50% mark, that means you're generally more bullish. So the fact that price is right now, does this feel like a dip? Look at this. If you're looking at this on the 3-day chart, this is not a dip. This is just a step in the staircase on the way to heaven. Even if we were to come down a bit further and test back into these zones, we're still well within this pattern. So let's continue on here. We also just saw this morning, 8:36 a.m. from Bitcoin Monger. I put this in that short that I posted a little bit ago. Make sure you go and give him a follow. I basically reached out to them. We're going to have him as on, I think it's a him, but this person on as a guest here in the near future here on BitLab Academy. But what he shared here is, look at this. Massive 46,000 Bitcoin taken off exchange. Boom. Right here. This is not a signal that the market, everybody's, preparing to dump. That's a large amount. And if the fact that it happened in that quantity and that sort of tick suggests that it's probably one player, if not maybe 2 or 3, but probably one player. That's a large amount of Bitcoin to say, you know what? I'm a big player. I'm comfortable here. I'm going to put this into longer term storage. This is beautiful. This is also one of the reasons why I love Bitcoin. If you're an investor, if you're a trader, you get basically real-time data, audited, I should say, every 10 minutes, updated every 10 minutes, that shows every interaction on the chain. And based on everything going on, because it's all on chain, because it's all transparent, I can see what every different type of wallet's doing. Wallets with over 10,000 Bitcoin. The fact that right here, we see that 46,000 Bitcoin got moved off of exchange into private storage. That would essentially mean like, hey, I'm going to take this money out of my wallet and go put it in the bank. That's essentially what coming off of exchange means. And you get this information and all the different on-chain data. Remember, in the BitLab Academy, for those of you that are not a member there yet or haven't gone through those courses, we have an entire on-chain data course there, I think with 19 or 20 different breakdowns of reading on-chain data. And for me, it's still one of the best things anybody can ever learn because it informs you about how smart money is moving in the market, where they're buying, where they're selling, and how dumb players, which every one of you and myself have all been and sometimes can still be, by being triggered emotionally, by buying the buying the FOMO train, selling the fear in the market. No, we're supposed to buy the fear and sell the FOMO. Now, it's also going to depend on the time frame you're looking at, but generally speaking, on the 3-day, weekly, and above, you need to sell the FOMO and buy the fear. And as we sit right here, we're still in a very, very strong bullish structure with a couple different targets that we've outlined. One sitting here about $100,000, which is, I think, an actual far too low of a target. We have the hash ribbon signal that is flashed by. The last 5 times it's flashed by. I think I have it on this chart right here. Yeah. The last 5 times this has flashed by has been an average of 121% move to the upside. This would suggest somewhere around 149. Where's it at? Yeah, that's it right there. Boom. So this is where it comes from. I measured it from where the price was when it was down there. That's why this was much higher. But from where the buy signal flashed, it is roughly about $142,000. And then you have the upper targets, some more aggressive targets. If you're really just thinking it's going to rip, up here around $230,000, $240,000. Now, there's no telling where this is going. This is why we look at the data on a daily basis, see where the winds are shifting geopolitically, financially, the global economy, what's going on with inflation, the Fed interest rate cuts that are likely coming on February, the next Federal Open Market Commission, FOMC, on September, I think it's 17th and 18th. Likely rate cuts. There's going to be some front running into that, which is what I think initially got a little bit of this run up here. In addition to the fact that, we just had a major presidential candidate just basically switch over. He's very Bitcoin bullish as well. Switch over to the Republican side. Now, there's a lot of things at play right now going on in this market, which is why we need to take a moment to decipher the information. My pack says, hi, BitLab fam. These fur babies are crypto legends by now. You do watch a lot of, you're here all the time, and I love it, seeing on all the different spaces. I love seeing people actively investigating an asset class that is absolutely changing and revolutionizing the world. And it's not just the money you can make. That's a whole tertiary side thing. In fact, let me take it over here. The Bitcoin's value, I'm going to say it right now. Let me say it right here. Bitcoin's value. Let me take this off so I can actually use this on the street. Bitcoin's value is not going to go up. What most people don't realize is that Bitcoin has a fixed value. 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin. The difference is the value of our dollars are diminishing at such a capacity, at such a rate. The value of our dollar is diminishing at such a rate in combination with this being such an early and nascent class that as the appetite comes in to buy it, the number of dollars needed goes up. The value of Bitcoin stays the same. In fact, we have Mark Yusko here talking about this earlier today on Scott Melker's channel. And I just wanted you to hear this. I was listening in on them earlier, and I just wanted to share this with you. Hold on. System audio. There we go.
Should go. I mean, we talk about at the end of the day, just buy it because it should go up. We talk about
it shouldn't go up. No. I'm gonna correct you.
The denominator should go down.
Bitcoin doesn't go up.
The denominator
Bitcoin does not go up. 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin stays Bitcoin. The currency we denominated in, dollars, yen, euros, renminbi, goes down. That is functionally what we're talking about, right? If all fiat currencies stopped printing money, Bitcoin would not go up, right? Other than daily supply and demand, and the price would move a little bit for buyers and sellers. The reason a store of value, gold and Bitcoin, rise, and housing to an extent, and some other things, is not that they go up. It's not that they get better. It's that the money gets worse.
That's what we all need to realize here. Now, there's a huge impact in the fact that there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And we're so early in this. We see the rate of adoption of Bitcoin over time is outpacing the speed at which the internet was adopted from 1991 onward, which suggests that right now we have under 100 million people that are using Bitcoin. And that would suggest on that same metric with the rate of expansion of the internet that we're going to have roughly 1 billion users in Bitcoin by 2029, 2030. That is a 10x. Think about how far price has gone from its inception in 2008, but when it launched 2009 to now, with only 100 million people coming in. We're about to have 900 million more coming in, with also use cases that are going to be built into this as we have the Bitcoin layer 2, the BRC20 narrative, essentially evolve in this space. There's so much to come in this space. It's not even funny. Now, when we dive back in to what we're talking about here, we got a couple more charts, so we're going to be doing some TA as well here in just a little bit. But we can also see, we just talking about that negative flow. Let's talk about what that means. Now, new negative exchange net flow. Large negative net flows generally indicate, meaning coins coming off of exchange, negative flow. Large negative net flows generally indicate a bullish sentiment, as they usually suggest that investors are transferring their Bitcoin off exchanges to potentially hold them for long term. So there's an act there, protecting it, also not presenting it to the world, holding it in third-party custody, which is essentially what you're doing. And I love Coinbase. I love CoinW. I like, Binance. I like the various exchanges that are out there. And I do hold some crypto on those to actively trade. But the majority of your crypto, you should be storing and making sure, if you're not trading it, it should be in your self-custody. And that's why also this channel is powered by Arculus, the number one, my favorite crypto cold storage solution out there. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off. Make sure you're protecting your crypto. Make sure you're protecting your future. It's one tap. You use a card. You have your phone that is logged in that has access to the card. So you need both, and it needs your biometrics. So it doesn't matter if you lose a card. It doesn't matter if you lose your phone. You can always reload again on a new device. But people need all three of those things in order to, if they were trying to hack it, they can't. In addition to that, it's one tap for swap, trade, and store your crypto. Head over to getarculus.com, our channel partners. Now, since we've done that, and it is a very valuable thing to know, but we're seeing this right here, massive outflows. We just saw that on that metric a second ago with the 46,000 outflows on exchange. But where are we at in this market cycle? Well, the green Gaussian channel, which is this channel here, is running in green color, which is apparently, it's only halfway if you look at this relative to the last two cycles. Now, anybody, if you may be new and you're wondering, I know most of you understand this, but we all have to come together as a community and realize in the next 3 months, in the next 9 months, especially in the next 2 years, there's going to be more people in the space that are new than of people that have been here, based on what I was just talking about with that rate of expansion of adoption. So we have to sometimes revisit some things and remember that we have that Bitcoin halving cycle. Understanding that when we're looking at this and we see, let's see, halving progress right here. We have the halving, the reduction of the rewards given to miners who are out there confirming transactions. They all have to agree on every transaction on the network. And if everybody agrees on that, then they compete to basically mine that block, to confirm that block, and they get a reward for doing such. And by doing such and having these various miners on there, This is what creates the layer of security. This is the most secure network in the history of humanity. It's stronger and more impactful than Google, Amazon, Microsoft, all combined, and Meta. It's the strongest network in the history of the world. And that's essentially part of what the value of this network is. It's not just tradable store of value, tradable currency. It's also, you're buying, essentially, you're getting a representation of a share of the strongest computer network in the history of the world. And the halvings that happened right at the beginning of this is showing that we're about 8%, about 9% now from where this halving date started. But we see after the halving is when you have the consolidation, meaning sideways price action, and then you get that supply shock and everybody just apes in, boom, and you get this massive speculative push. Similar here, price action with sideways, a massive speculative push. Price action a little bit sideways, a massive speculative push. And we're sitting right here in the same zone that everybody's like, why isn't it going up? Well, look at the data. Stop being a numbskull. If you're feeling confused, I welcome it because I'm confused all the time. But let's not be a victim of circumstance. Let's not be a victim of the emotions of a moment because we need something to happen. It's right on pace with everything that we want to see it be doing right now. And in fact, we are outperforming the previous cycle as we showed here. Now, if we look at the last two cycles, the Gaussian Channel, which basically takes into a lot of metrics, a moving average and then other data as well. But when we're under this, after this fully confirmed bearish, this flips red. Once we get back above it, it basically finds support on it. This Gaussian Channel turns green, and this was 144 bars. This was back in 2015, 2016, really into 2017, very into 2017. Last cycle right here, this is where we had the COVID crash right here. The global economic shutdown, we had 148 bars similarly. Now this did have a bit of a scary washout, came right back up. The channel stayed green. Look at where we're at right now. Let's say it's if this expanded, by 4, by 4, maybe this expands only by 2, meaning it just, the length of the cycle gets a little bit longer. But even 140, I mean, this is still relatively about right here is where we're at here. Things are setting up. And I've got some really super bullish stuff I want to share with you. So I'm going to share with you right now. We got 175 people in the room, only 49 likes. Every single one of you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. And I do want to shout out our channel partners, CoinW. We got that Telegram group set up with the private signals. The only spot I'm asking you right now, the only spot I want you to get that link from, don't go get it from Twitter. There's 100 different fake profiles of me out there. Make sure you come over here to the stream. And when you're on it, like any of the daily streams, scroll down right here. You see free traders group. Boom. There's the link. Click on that. Sign up and you get up to $30,500 in bonuses. Breaks down to basically you deposit $100, you get a free $100. You deposit $200, you get a free $200. You deposit $3,000, you get a free $1,000. And that gets you access to the basically traders group Telegram. It will, when you click on that, it will bring you here. And if you don't know how to do it or what to do, basically just click on that link. It'll bring you here. Register a CoinW account using this link. It has a link right there. Click on it. Find your CoinW UID. So I don't know if you can see that. I can't because the way this is lined up. When you're logged in on your phone, for instance, you just click that little button and then right next to your thing, I can't. There we go. You see right next to that little person where that area is circled, the UID, you use that UID and then right down here in the message area, you type / verify space, and then you put in your UID. Let's say it's 888888, whatever. You don't do the brackets. It's just like that / verify, boom. And then boom, when you register, it'll check that you have a UID through this link. You have to have it through our CoinW link, not just a random CoinW link from another. You got to trade with us. And we have a whole, once you do that, it's going to give you the link to join the actual Signals Lab. Takes you in here. Where is it at? Can you see it? Yeah. It takes you in here. We just getting this set up. We're starting to get some people in here. We have swing signals set up. We've got, we're getting a lot of things just outlined. I got education stuff coming in here, but if you see TP1, that's take profit 1. If you see TP2, that's take profit 2, to outline where you should break up your entries and your exits, to set your targets ahead of time, to show you the exact spot. SL means where your stop loss is at. And these are all suggestions. None of this is financial advice. This is showing the strategies that winning traders are using. Myself, I've got a consortium of other people in the space, a couple special guests in there as well, but a consortium of other professional traders as well as me. And we got spot signals. I'm going to be adding more to this one, but we also have live trading deals where it shows you exactly what's going on there. So head over there to the BitLab page directly below my, click on that, join. If you haven't joined the CoinW thing yet, we think there's 2 more days for that massive promo where you get the huge bonuses when you sign up. So get in there. We got the live trading starting to get set up. So get in there and take advantage of it while you can. It's a free group. You just have to come in there and trade with us so we can all do it together. Now, and I got some webinars, by the way. One of the other things is there's going to be webinars with me and small groups of you where I can see what you're doing. You can see what I'm doing. There's going to be some really great stuff in there, but we got some more stuff to talk about here. So let's talk about it. Yeah, let's see it. I love the thumbs down. It's like, hey guys, if you want to give a thumbs down, go be a troll anywhere else. Because this is an empowering spot. But the signals are here for the most exciting part of the bull run. And that's right here. Bitcoin weekly historical volatility. Historical volatility just broke out from a downtrend dating back to the 2017 market peak. The volatility there, boom. And look at this. Resistance here, also where this is. Resistance here, meaning how much volatility is coming in. Now, everybody says that a lot of people, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people argue that it's diminishing returns, meaning as the bigger the market gets, and which is not a wrong thing to think, the bigger the market gets, the volatility starts diminishing because it takes so much more energy to have that volatility. However, we did just break out of this multi-year downtrend of volatility, showing that also it kind of lines up with what we're talking about here, outperforming this cycle, right? So there are some things, let's actually close this. There are some things suggesting that there is a flood coming. And I do think if we're going to get, I don't want to call it a super cycle, but some exponential returns, especially when you look at it comparatively with last cycle performance, also considering that this got cut short with the Chinese mining ban, and then we tried to make another attempt and it failed. This cycle we have right here, it's right here actually. This is a zone. If we zoom in on this is a zone right here. This is where this is where there we go. This is where the ETFs were approved. This is that little sell-off. This is a launch. And we're just now getting all these players underway. We have 330,000 investment advisors out there that can tap up to $100 trillion worth of assets funds, meaning they direct and give them advice on to where to put their money. And they're only now just becoming aware of Bitcoin. And this is going to be incredible for the altcoins. I'm going to show you why right now. How many of you out there hold a lot of altcoins? You mean 70K top forever? CryptoFest, I don't think, yeah. Now, CryptoFace is a friend of mine, and he's one of the best traders out there. I don't think 70K is top forever by any means. And you can have a friend and not agree with something. He might have been saying it in jest as well. But I have a huge amount of respect for CryptoFace. He's one of the realest people in the space. Now, looking at some of these other things, we're about to get into some of the altcoin stuff. And that is, I wanted to look at the historical volatility also on the 2-week time frame. And that is showing that the volatility is down lower than it's ever been. Essentially, it's double bottoming here on this 2-month chart, suggesting when volatility is low, there's a huge move of expansion. And look at how this plays out. If we're this low, look at this, March 17 all the way into, this was December 2017. And we're right now at July. That was what? 12 minus 3 is what? 9. So if we had 9 months from here, that would be September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, sometime. If you're doing this time basis, right? Either way, without the time basis, if volatility is low, things oscillate in this market from low volatility to very high volatility. Just like if price goes up, price is going to come down at some point, right? So we just want to calculate at what levels it does that. Then we see Bitcoin, $68,200 incoming. This is from Titan of Crypto, a likely short-term scenario for Bitcoin. Fill the imbalance. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is an imbalance, just a giant candle with no exploration of this zone. This is why I set up those targets This is why I set up those targets down into these zones. Primarily, the second target is roughly these tops right in here. When we look at the price on Bitcoin, and we look, let's zoom in on this. Actually, it's this one right here. Yeah. Nope, that's not it. There it is. That's why we're on the 3-day. Let's go to the 2-hour. Boom. Now look at this right here, this box. Turn off all this darn stuff. Rejection, 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 rejection under it, rejection. This had this massive imbalance, even on a 2-hour candle. Look, massive imbalance there, just a candle with no exploration, meaning like this. It's like this is, see this on the way down? This is not an imbalance. This is actually stair stepping to the downside. So this came down. It's filling this imbalance, kind of like a gap when you look at the CME futures gap. And this is going to be true for your altcoins as well. We're about to look at some of those altcoins here in just a second and some incredible signals on those. Now we see this coming down to the zone. Maybe this is starting to bottom, but we're looking at this at the 2-hour. Let's look at this on the 24-minute and zoom in on this. We've got this coming down into the zone, flushed out the bottom side of the zone. We still have negative momentum. We have kind of neutral and bearish, leaning bearish. But we want to pay attention to what happens here, because if this does drop, I'd be looking at the price action to likely come down into this point of control zone right in this, just a little bit lower, basically 61,000 would be a great opportunity, I think, because I do think that we have hit a local bottom and that we need to pay attention to what these targets are. Now, when we zoom this out a little bit like that, this also is somewhat in line with the symmetrical triangle coming right down into the zone. Look at that, 60,800. If this kind of works its way over, let's turn off the volume. There you go. Basically 60,800, 61,000, in line with all this chop and this rising level of support in the zone. We also just got this, basically the clip here showing this is trying to rotate back over. Stochastics have come down. What does it look like on the BitLab intelligence? We're getting a little bit of a bullish signal, not buy signal, bullish signal there, but the bottom fell out. So what's it looking like on the 15? I'm just looking for the broad range of data. Bullish signal. So it's still not a trigger yet. We're getting a setup potentially, but we need to show a little bit of a rise, a little bit of a retest down on these smaller time frames and a continuation before we can start looking to the 1 hour or anything like that. Like this is the bottom on this most recent move. But where we're sitting right now in this market, this is just, I'm actually looking to make another pretty decent size allocation next week. So I want this to go down. Give me opportunity, baby. That's what I'm here for. And so we see that imbalance filling out. And then we look to altcoins. Take a look at 2016. Take a look at the RSI. Take a look at 2024. Look at the RSI. Falling lines always break out upwards sooner than later. So this is what we're looking at. Price action, sideways. RSI, boom, launch. Price action, sideways. This right here, we can ignore this, but just looking right there, this just is substantiated by this zone right here. But RSI breaking down, we're watching for that signal of the RSI to break out to show that there's a new paradigm in the strength, not just a little fake out like we've been seeing. But if you zoom in on this a little bit closer, this is from Mustache, L_crypto_prof, L Crypto Prof. Make sure you give them a follow if you're not yet. But looking right here, we can see this zoomed in. Now this is zoomed in. We looked at the RSI. We can also look at the pattern. On the pattern, we have a falling wedge. Also with a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders. It's very oblong in here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, potentially. But also the retest of this descending trend line. And this is suggesting, this isn't a specific asset. This is highlighting the narrative sentiment of the battle between the bulls and the bears within the altcoin market. So it's everything excluding the top 10. So this is the others. So when you look at everything in the market, you exclude Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, BNB, you know, it's essentially all those top cap coins, and it's all the other altcoins. And these are looking like they're trying to make some juicy plays here. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is from yesterday. So let's get into it. Cardano making a little bit of a making some people mad, but I'm like, yo, this means that we're getting opportunity. We got the move to the upside, and now we have a target here with these previous range. Where is it going to go if it's dropping? Tell yourself this right now. If you're looking at a chart and you say, where is it going to go if it's dropping? You say, okay, if this starts to drop, how can I look for where price levels are to watch for? Well, we see how I have the crosshairs on my chart. So the yellow dotted lines, if I move my mouse down, what I'm looking for is for instance, if this was, let's go like this, boom. You don't know where it's going to go. We're put it on replay mode, which is this little arrow right here. And you just move your thing to where you're cutting it. And we're on 3X. Okay. So what I would do is I would move my mouse down and say, where is the zone? I would say right here because of this price point top and these price point tops. So what I would do is I go like that. And then I'd say, okay, what's the next zone down? Boom, right here. So those are two opportunities. If you're looking to, on the smaller time frames, find an opportunity to buy, and the price was like this, you would do that and you could see how it plays out. And then as it does play out, you say, okay, it went right through it. So you see this one went right through it. So that entry would have been hit. And had you had a stop loss, you would have been stopped out. Had you just been buying this for a position without doing 10x leverage, you're just looking for a spot buy, meaning you're buying $10 worth of Cardano for $10. You're not spending $10 and putting it 10x, because that's when you truly mess yourself up. But now we have this next level down that's not yet been hit, which is 35.6 cents. And we're kind of rounding out a little bit right now. Maybe attempting a bottom, but what we see, look, down, stair step, little trick, down, stair step, little trick. I would think that this next target will get hit. Why? Stochastics, angle to the downside. Money flow on the 15-minute tried to roll up, still negative, starts expanding back. The momentum tried to be positive, it's flipping back negative there. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking super bullish on these time frames for an immediate upward price action. But that means if you're aware of that, then you could take advantage of, if this does hold this level and starts breaking out, I would say I would look for a break above 36.63 right here. Again, this is not financial advice. This is strategy advice, talking about how we navigate what's going on in these charts. But you don't want to jump in right as this tests the low of this previous range. You want to have it test. You want to have a little bit of a rejection. You want to have it break through and have possibly another little bit of a. Let me make that a little bit brighter. There we go. You want to have it test this range. This already got rejected. So you want this to come up, find a bounce, and continue. That's honestly where I would be looking for an entry. Not right here where you're trying to catch the absolute bottom, because you very rarely will. But when we look at Ethereum, also Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, breaking down a bit. Looking here on the 6-hour chart, we have this channel that it's been in all the way back here since, what is this? September 2022. Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, bouncing, rejection, rides it on the upper side, then bounce, kind of rides the bottom side, then rockets up. And then remember, this is a multi-year trend line right here. This is a trend line, December 2016. This is this trend line right here. Why it was fighting not to go below it, because this is a multi-year, all the way back to 2016 trend line. And then once, look, bounce, we rejected on it, tried again, lower high, rejected on it, came down. Look, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Ethereum to Bitcoin pushes up to where previous low range, rejects, comes back down. This is not yet ready to run. However, we did just get the Ethereum spot ETF. There's going to be mixed approaches to what's going on with this, because everybody's looking at this, and also Bitcoin was just able to run because it's kind of the arbiter of the crypto market. Ethereum just had the Ethereum spot ETF, and so it also is looking to where the risk is on Bitcoin, but it's also, people are being comparative in terms of what the performance of the ETH ETF is, and also the rotation of capital from the Grayscale Ethereum trust to ETF, and having some of those people rotate out into the ETH mini trust or mini ETF because of those fees. So there's a lot going on right now, but it's all on the cusp of having that next major move. Let me tune in here over with chat here for a second, though. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? Let me see. No super chats. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. But what are you guys looking at right now? First 3 people that post the coin that they're looking at, they want to know something. I'll do your TA right now, and maybe time for one super chat or something like that, because we are running a little short here today. I'm waiting for y'all's information. Oh, I wanted to share this as well while you guys are doing that. The RWA, here's the top real world assets by development. This is not reflective of price. This is pre-price. This means that there's a huge number of people working to build these different things within the protocol. Chainlink is number 1. So many people don't realize that Chainlink is going to be a major RWA player. They're number 1 in the development space of RWAs. Synthetics, major. Here, real world asset tokenization is also very in line with what synthetics is all about. And then we also got Centrifuge. I did a whole video on Centrifuge a little while back. Let me see if we can find it really quick. Videos here, it would be latest. When did I do that? Centrifuge. It would be under playlist, maybe Degen. No, where is it? Come on, look at that old studio. I can't find it. It's in there somewhere. I'll share it with you guys later. It's all good. Come back over to BitLab. I'm just waiting for you. Okay. I'm starting to see y'all's coins in there. I gotta find this. Dang it. Hold on. Daily Alpha. This was it. View full playlist, and it was in here. Let me see. Right here. I'll share it with you guys. Centrifuge. It's in the Polkadot ecosystem. They were all there at the Polkadot Decoded event as well, doing some amazing, talking about a lot of really great developments that they're doing. But this is something you should definitely watch. I just shared it in the live chat. Go give it a watch. It's a 10-minute video. Make sure you know what's going on, because when you see it's in the list, top 3 RWA by development, I think RWA is probably going to be one of the biggest narratives. It's going to go back and forth with AI, I think, this cycle. And remember, tomorrow we have the NVIDIA earnings report, which is going to have an impact on the AI sector within crypto as well. If they miss their earnings or come in softer, or, if they could have an impact on the space, which could create some opportunity if the prices do drop. So I would just be a little hesitant to take trades on AI plays right now. Now, let me scroll back up. I want to see y'all's coins. I'm scrolling down. Where did they start? Okay. Sawtooth Hiker. And let's see. Sufficient enough as well. A lot of you early ones said ONDO. We did ONDO yesterday, but we can look at it again. ONDO has kind of been rolling over a bit, but it had this massive uptick, large sell-off back here the beginning of August, and from this large sell-off had a 68% rebound, and now it's just been kind of trading within this zone. If the price action does lose this zone, especially with this lower bound that it's kind of bouncing on, then we're looking at an opportunity. I do think we'll get a higher low. We're looking at an opportunity down here in the low 60s. Maybe mid 50s, but somewhere in this region down here would be a great opportunity buy if this does come down. I wouldn't just buy it. I don't know what happened to my video camera, but let's see if I could turn that off and back on. No video. All right. Well, I'm just going to turn my video off. You should still be able to hear me because I don't want to get up and reset it all. But yeah, I still think this is an amazing opportunity in the space. BlackRock's been layering into this. I'd be looking for opportunity down here, about 61 cents. Potentially also right here at 65 cents, which is this low here, retesting this. But I do think if it breaks this, we likely get a washout down into this zone. But we do see the stochastics rounding out, trying to show some strength coming back in. We come down to the 2 hour. We also, okay, they tried, but it's looking like it's failing. We got a bit of a descending resistance level here. You can do TA kind of, general like trend lines. You see this has a little bit of a peak above, but then rejection. If we can break out of this, then I do think this momentum will roll over as it is. But we're starting to get some negative money flow. So watch for an opportunity lower. If this does hold support, we got to really watch the 72 to 74 cent range. And then we're watching the zone up here at 81 cents. I also saw somebody said AIOZ. We haven't looked at AIOZ in a few days. Let's look at AERO. Zooming out here, look at this massive bull flag. Broke out, came down, retested, and it's trying. It has a higher low. It's trying to round out. We have a pretty deep wave here on the momentum wave, smaller wave. We still have negative money flow though. Negative money flow, which does not tell you that the grass is getting watered and it's going to be pushing to the upside. As it stands right now, it's kind of similar to what we're seeing with ONDO. Things look like they might be trying to give one more opportunity, one more. See, the funny thing is it's going to be a shakeout for people in the wrong position. For people waiting in the wings with their charts, this may provide another opportunity down. And so I'd be looking about right here, option J. Why? Because we had this point bounce here. We have all of this chop right here. This kind of finds support here. And so if this does wash out down, I'd be looking for an opportunity here at 60 cents on AERO. I did see somebody say AIOZ, and then let's see, let's do it on KuCoin. It'll be an older chart. Daily, 3-day. All right. Turbo TA, breaking that down right there. These don't need to be exact. It's just a general reference. Got a bit of a falling channel. Perfectly. Nice, beautiful bull flag. We saw one right here as well. See this beautiful bull flag? This is more like a bull pennant. Same, it's going to measure the same, so I call them all bull flags. So this one fell a little bit short. You see, fell a little bit short, but that's okay. But now this pushes up. We have a pretty big deal here. I'd be watching for, on this, we have a higher low still. Even though we have this big wick, the candle body is, generally speaking, the healthy price movement, higher low, and it's trying to test this zone. So if we do lose 41.7 cents, I'm looking at likely having a bit of a washout right into here. Option J. Why here? Because this is the previous range top. This bounced here before, and it would be representative of coming down and trying to test the lower bound of this range. That's on the 3-day chart, though. So what does it look like with the signals on the smaller time frame? So turn on the BitLab Intelligence. Turn on. Okay, here we go. We have order blocks directly below us right now. So now it doesn't look so bearish as it is. If we can basically oscillate from this upper order block into this zone and find support, also having a bit of a higher low like this, basically we have a little bit of a trend line here. If we can find support here, what we really want to do is have this bounce and break above the weekly VWAP, which is this right here. If you have the BitLab trading stack, come here on the intelligence, hit settings, go to inputs, scroll down, VWAP settings, see this weekly one, turn it on. Boom, and you can see this right here. I'd like to see this come up, likely small rejection, break above, reject at this order block, come down, find support, showing that the bulls are defending this weekly order block, and then a continuation to the upside. But that's what I'm seeing today, guys. That's what I'm feeling. The markets they're still ripe with opportunity, giving us a lot of clear opportunity to take advantage of these things as they come in. So let's make sure that we're not doing anything silly, chopping ourselves out of capital. I'm trying to set the redirect, but I don't. There it is. Boom, save. But that's all I got, everybody. I love you. Remember, if you want to get part of our BitLab, basically the Signals Lab free trading group that's for people that are signed up with CoinW, come back over here to BitLab Academy on the stream you're on right now. All you got to do is scroll down right here, free traders group. It's also pinned in the top of the live chat. I'll also post this. I will post this in the group. Go to this link in the Telegram. Only go to this link from this from this page, from this BitLab account. Sign up there. You have to have a Telegram account as obviously, but click on that link. It'll take you to the access group. You won't give you access unless you're able to verify with your UID that comes from the link that's on that access page. That access page is right here. Access to Signals Lab. See right here. That's not it. It's right. Where'd it go? Boom. Right here. Says register a CoinW account. You have to use this link. And then after you do that, you get your UID and you just type /verify space and the numbers and press enter. And then it gives you a link to join. And then you get access over here to the Signals Lab where we have all the different setups and everything, keeping you in the know. That's what I got. I don't know why my camera's locked, but I am got that devilish stare there. I'll leave it on that screen. Everybody hit the like button. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hit that like button and I'll see you in the next video. Adios, muchacheritos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in.